Here's the reality, folks. Half the country is coming to terms with the fact that their suffering and even dying would be fine with the other half. Making the other side suffer is actually a primary goal for many on the winning side. So a full half of the population living in a place they want to love don't see a path to loving it anymore. And we have no mental gymnastics left to convince ourselves the people who made America sicker aren't so bad. They're worse. And they will keep striving to lower the bar. That's hard enough. Knowing the ones who handed over the future of the world had no idea what they just did because they were too lazy to find out how colossally stupid the choice was is excruciating. By the time the media started telling the truth about the damage Orangina was going to do to America, the lazies had already gotten the talking points they wanted, from the very forces that benefit from keeping people in the dark about anything and everything. Half the country is realizing the people who have no idea what they just did will never be expected to understand, and even if they were, they'd never be selfless enough to challenge the convenient lies they love. Abusive dad remains the archetype America has chosen for its leader. Intolerant family is the archetype America has chosen for its family. Alpha asshole is the archetype America has chosen for its boys, and stupid, helpless, and pretty is the archetype America has chosen for its girls. The patriarchy pulled a few levers and refreshed itself as the preferred structure of white supremacy. It reminded American women we're expendable. We're vessels, and we need to be punished for ever entering the spaces where white men are safe in their mediocrity. The problem is, the people who just got trounced are not mediocre, and we know it. We know they chose from a place of stupid, and will only end up in a place of stupider. We know they will suffer along with everyone, and it will be their fault, even though their handlers will give them a fairy tale to pass the blame to whoever's easiest to lie about. We also know the window for America to truly grow up is closed. We are stunted. We will never reach the four corners of our potential. We're going to watch reruns and we're going to eat leftovers, quite possibly for the rest of many, many of our lives. We're going to absorb the reality of vulnerable people being tormented and unalived at the same steady rate we've absorbed mass shootings. They're the cost of men keeping their Rambo fantasies, and we're smart enough to know the whole country knows baby men fantasies are never going to be reined in, and no amount of unalived children will change that. Latino people and women dropping like flies will be the same thing. Our shot at growing up was during Obama's first term, and we made the mistake of going high and of trusting that growth is inevitable. And some of it happened. But the electorate that can't grow, won't grow, and hates you if you grow, got handed a really big bullhorn by some really mediocre and messed up billionaires. And a lot of lonely little boys heard the dog whistle. We know the drill. We've identified where we went wrong, and how unlikely the ones who need to change have the bravery to do that. So where does that leave the people who are grown? The ones who are living in a country that doesn't want us, that sees our growth as a threat, our commitment to the truth as a threat. Are we going to keep growing undercover? Are we going to dumb down and hollow out like the white women who fancy their men's supremacy? Are we going to pretend to be as dastardly as the ones who hate us, just so we don't get beat up in our own home? What are we willing to sacrifice to fight for the rest of the world, who doesn't deserve to be impacted by America's awfulness, who wish so much we weren't so damn dumb and so damn mean? We can't fathom what's to come. I don't want to flee. But I've also suffered at the hands of abusers, and I won't subject my daughters to that. And I won't stay where my daughters will be oppressed because of stupid. Nowhere is safe anymore. Nobody is trustworthy. But we need rational voices to keep talking, and justice seekers to keep seeking. Otherwise, what's the point? I think personally I'd rather unalive than become an awful person to save myself. But I wouldn't sacrifice my kids for baby men. It's a pickle, huh, folks? The liberal leaders who emerge from America's carnage through the next phase of domestic terrorism are the ones the history books will remember. And those leaders will largely decide what America is willing to sacrifice to reject a version of great that's just a cover for hate. So I hope they stay the course and show us what it looks like to be grown, even in the midst of being hated and targeted. When stupid self-destructs, grown people have to be at the ready to step in. Who knows when that will be? But the alternative is to give up our aspirations like the side who just won. And I don't think we should ever stoop to that level. I love you, folks. I wish we had chosen chemo before the cancer spread so far. I sure hope it doesn't kill all of us. Yeah.